Hi, everyone, and welcome to Monday Funday. It's another beautiful start of a week. I'm still kind of waiting for spring to come here because in southern Poland we're not really getting much spring yet. But this weekend is the official start of spring, so I'm looking forward to it. Um, today's show is going to be probably titled "What I Learned in Preschool." What I learned in preschool. Now, only I'm not going to talk about when I was in preschool because that would be really silly because I don't remember anything from my preschool. The only thing I can really remember, and my mom can confirm this, for some reason there was a big boat in the playground. And so we were able to play in a boat in the playground. That's probably the only thing I remember from my preschool. Um, so I'm going to talk about more working in a preschool, so working with kids. Now, for those of you who don't really know me, I teach English in Poland, and so I teach English as a second language. That's what it's called. So it's really practical, and I've taught kids anywhere from 3 years old to 73 years old. Right now, I think the youngest kids that I have are about 7 years old, and the oldest are about mid 40s. So still, everybody can learn a second language. It's never too late. It's never really too early. Except anything before 3 years old, you're not going to see much of a reaction. Only the kids will that's how they learn the languages. And so 3 years old is a good time for kids to start learning. So what did I learn in preschool? Now, without getting too philosophical, which I have a tendency to do as I get older, I get more and more philosophical about everything. And without trying to get too political, because as I get older, I get more and more political about everything. So I'm going to try and keep this really nice and friendly. Maybe some of my other episodes, I'll get into some topics that are a little more sensitive about things that I believe in. But not today. Today is going to be light and fun. So what I learned in preschool is that you can't judge the importance of something by your own perspective. I mean, everybody thinks that something is important, and just because I might say this isn't important at all, someone else might say that this is the most important thing in the world. And I mean, the anecdotes from this, I had a story where a group of, they were probably about 6 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, something like that. And for some reason, we got a new set of cars, little Hot Wheels cars or Matchbox, little metal cars like this. And so they had a set of like 20 of them. So all the boys were like, wow, this is great. So we have all of these cars and we're playing with the cars. And one day, one of the boys comes up to me crying. And so it's like, okay, what's going on? He's like, oh, it's not fair because that boy got the green car. And I said, okay, he has the green car. And the boy looked at me surprised. But he had the green car yesterday. I said, but we have like 20 cars here, and no, the green car is the best, and it's my turn to have the green car, and he had the green car yesterday. So I go to kind of solve this problem and negotiation work, and you realize, and so I asked him, he's like, well, did you have the green car yesterday? Well, yeah, but not that long. And so it didn't really count, and so I get it today. And I told him, it's like, look, if we don't solve the problem here with the green car, I'm just going to have to take it, and then nobody gets the green car except me, and I don't really want to play with it. And so we tried for a few minutes, and there was no possible solution because each wanted to not give anything, that there was no sort of concession to say, okay, we can play together. I gave them some options. You can play together. You can play for 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there. There's lots of things we can do. Nope, no room for any argument. So unfortunately, I had to take it. And so you can't really judge when you see someone else. You can't really judge that what they're saying is important. You can't say that it's not important because this is just one thing I learned because I wanted to say it's a stupid little green metal car and it's kind of ugly too. And so that's that. Hey Daisy, you want to be in the movie? Guess not. Let's see. Something else, some advice I always give parents because sometimes you have to be more stubborn than your child. And so I always love the joke that, when someone says yes, I say no. When someone says yes, I say no. And then I make the joke. I worked in a preschool. I can do this all day, just repeating no. And sometimes, because kids will start to learn that if they say yes enough times, they finally get what they want. And so they get stubborn because they know it might be 20 times, it might be 30 times, but they know that there's some number of times that they repeat this bad behavior that it's finally going to be successful. And so they learn this type of behavior, which probably brings me to my next point. Surprisingly enough, and I know some people would probably disagree, someone who has like a PhD in child psychology or something, but I happen to think that most behavior with kids is actually learned behavior. I mean, I have a little box here, a 3D printed box for memory cards. And so this is where I keep my memory cards. My printer, these cards, my printer takes these cards, my computer takes this card, so they go inside, and then I go down to my basement printing room with my little card and I print it. So I have my little box, so that way I don't lose them because they're tiny and easy to lose. If I take this card, put it in the box, and close it, now I know it's still there, right? So if I open it up, it's still there because I put it there. This is actually learned behavior. Kids, this isn't exactly natural. That we don't get this naturally, and so this is kind of learned behavior, that it's something I know that it's still there, because I've done it hundreds of times and it's always there, it's never disappeared. But this is something just that you learn as a child, and as I get older I realize almost everything we do is learned behavior. So you learn the consequences of your actions. If you don't learn the consequences of your actions, then you still make stupid actions as an adult because you never fell down. If you run too much on ice, you're gonna fall down. So you just learn, hey, can't run on ice because you fall down. And so that's kind of a funny thing, how much behavior is learned. It's taught behavior, which is something that's interesting. Wow, this is going one step to the other. Something I read that was kind of clever enough that I wish I had thought of it. That when you're dealing with kids, since most behavior is learned, you shouldn't let a child do something that makes you not like them. And so if a child yells and screams to get what they want, if you give them what they want, then you're encouraging them to do this more. And I don't know about most people, I hate whiny kids. And so I would tell groups of children, for example, teaching second graders, and they say, Mr. Press, can we do this? And I'm like, I don't know. And they say, please. And I say, look, if you're gonna whine, then the answer is always gonna be no, because I don't like this behavior. And so you could see after a while with kids that I had some groups for years, several years, and they would be like, don't whine around Mr. Price because it never works. And so this is just encouraging behavior that I like and not letting children do behavior that I don't like. And that's one of the secrets probably to working with kids. Working with kids is also like being a parent. And so if you encourage your children to do behavior that you don't like, then you just get a child that you don't like. And so that's kind of funny. But, I mean, emotions, yeah. Children crying, okay, yeah. Children cry because of emotions. And so emotions, I've always told children very seriously, and you would be surprised when you talk seriously with children, lower your voice a little bit, talk quieter. And so that way you say something, now this is really important. Children react to things like that. They don't react much to screaming and yelling, but they react to quietness. And this actually terrifies children. If you want to make a child really scared, just talk lower and quieter and slower, and they don't know how to react to this. But often I tell them that emotions are a beautiful thing, beautiful emotions. Everyone feels happy, everyone feels sad, everyone gets angry, everyone's scared. These are completely natural things. So, and I tell them, I feel the same way. Some days I'm sad, some days I'm happy, that this is just normal. And they're surprised when you say things like that. But I tell them that your reactions to your emotions, you can control. You can't control your emotions, but you can control your reactions. And so if you're angry with someone, if you hit them, then that's a bad thing. If you're sad and so you break a toy or rip something up, that's not a good reaction to being sad. And so you kind of control what you can control and accept what you can't control. And so this is one of those things that you try and teach children about how to react to emotions. It's always kind of fun. And this is actually a challenge as a teacher because, you get all of the situations. It's not an easy job. It's frustrating at times, but it is very rewarding. And, when you're working with children, it sounds kind of funny, but you should never let them do something. Well, hold on. You should never do something for them that they can do for themselves. And so if a child can do something, you should let them do this, even probably force them to do this and say, I think you can do that. Why don't you try? Because if you get kids, habits start easy. And if you're like, oh, let me tie your shoes for you. And then you get a 6-year-old that just looks at your shoes and points and says, oh, go, 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 because I don't tie my shoes. And so they get used to this type of behavior. So immediately if they can do something, let them do it. It's kind of funny that way. I guess this is what I learned in preschool is more like how children are and things like this. Sometime I'll probably talk more about happiness. Working in a preschool, happiness. It's a fun job, real fun job. Probably one of the most interesting things. Now, my sister's a lawyer, and I would hate to have her job. Because lawyers, whenever someone goes to a lawyer, it's always because they have problems. And so you always have, please solve this problem. And sometimes the problem can't be solved. And sometimes the problem is your fault. So you're just going to go there and you're going to you didn't learn the consequences of bad behavior when you were in preschool because you weren't talking to Mr. Press. And so then you end up having bad consequences of actions. And so my sister just deals with problems all day, every day. That would drive me crazy. Working in a preschool, yeah, there's problems every day. Some days are fun. Some days you got to go to the zoo and go look at the animals. Some days you had to deal with crying babies. I've seen all kinds of different problems in preschool. So every day there were new problems, but then again, it was rarely boring because the problems were always surprising. And so you have to think quickly and stuff like that. So we'll probably talk more in the future about jobs and what kind of jobs you have to get, you should choose. As I get older, I realize if you really want to be happy, you should really like your job. You shouldn't love it. You should love your hobbies, but you should really like your job. And so I'm pretty lucky that I found a good job that right now, my life's wonderful. I work in a small school, only teaching language, so there's no other subjects, just languages. And so I get to work with small groups of kids, and I get to help them learn a lot. And so that's kind of fun. What else? Lucky, what do you think? What else did we learn in preschool? Anything? She enjoys doing my Monday Funday. I think that's about it. Preschool, yeah. I hope this is kind of interesting because I don't know if this is really interesting, just me sitting here talking. Definitely it's kind of nice for language skills because this gets me to just talk normally and to let people hear the different things. One of the advantages of me being an English teacher is I grew up in California as a young kid. So I have a very neutral accent. So all of my accent and my meter and my word patterns are very neutral. So I guess I've been told it's easy to understand. Okay, well, I'm going to go start my work. I'm getting a new bathroom put in about 2 months. And so I have to go pick out some tiles today, and start planning what my bathroom is going to look like. So I have to do that before I go to work. So have a good day, everyone. Have a good week, and I'll see you guys. Well, for those of you who watch my word of the day, that's going to be later today, and my grammar Sundays, those are always fun. So I'm just having fun being a YouTuber. Okay, thank you very much and have a good day.